Now that we know what is a community, let's identify the different types of communities. By definition, a community is a segment of people that forms relationships and have some form of shared experiences, goals, and interests. So this is going to be very important. That last bit is going to be very important to find out the different types of communities. Now let's go over some of the examples. So the first one that I have, like I mentioned, is for common goal. Here are some examples. Now we have PETA, right? PETA is People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And this is a community of action. They're always fighting for change and changing the world for animals. It's all about movements, right? Some form of action, ending speciesism. Here the word it's out there on their landing page. Change the world for animals. So this is a community that's fighting for the betterment and the rights of animals. The next example is a community of inquiry, where the goal is education. We have so many examples of communities that are of inquiry, where the goal is education. Open Study, Avalon Meta, they're all examples of this. The next one is community of innovation, right, where the goal is creation, where like-minded, smart individuals come together and build something. Open source communities are wonderful examples of communities of innovation. The next one is community of purpose, where the goal is support. Your Airbnb, when you go to an Airbnb experience or a stay, and after that you post your reviews and you share photos of that. That's some form of a community where you're building and you're helping other people, other members of this community who want to travel and enjoy these kind of shared experiences. So the review community is an example of a community of purpose, where the goal is support, customer support, member support. Amazon has a wonderful community of support, a community of purpose, where the goal is support. Next, we have communities that share a common experience. Here we have number one, communities of circumstance. Now here, these are people that the segment of people who share a similar situation. Healthcare community is very common in this. People who have similar disabilities or who have similar diseases. If you're going through cancer or something like that, or if you have some form of an addiction, Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, is a very famous community of circumstance or situation. You also have communities of position, where people are sharing a similar stage of life, where, say, for example, teenagers come together and form a community, or young mothers form a community. Pregnant ladies form community. So these are people who are in a particular stage of life. The next one that we have are community of place, where people they share the common experience that they share is the shared location. Next door, for example, this is a community that comes together to greet newcomers, exchange recommendations, and read the latest local news, right? It's location. So if you have a particular location, you can type in your street address and you can be a part of the community in that area. And finally, we have communities of common interest. If, for example, you're passionate about say, so HOG is the Harley Davidson owners group. In India, for example, we have the Royal Enfield groups, people who come together every Sunday, go on rides. They have a strong feeling of community. They have the strong interest of motorcycling, the motorcycle lifestyle. So HOG is a very famous community that's built around the Harley Davidson, the Harley owners group. Right? So this is an exclusive community. You have, I think they have affiliate members or associate members, and then you have full-time members. And full-time members are those who actually own a Harley Davidson, whereas associate members can be people who are related to someone who owns a Harley Davidson. And they all share the motorcycling lifestyle. There's a community for Lego. There's a community for LawLink. LawLink is for lawyers, and in this community, people, it's very hard to even understand the kind of communication that goes in, because it's all very much related to law and advocates and the judiciary. So these are all communities that are, they share a particular hobby or a particular profession or a particular craft. Now, when I spoke about this, when I was taking the example of, say, Avalon Meta, I mentioned that, okay, this could be a community of inquiry because, they help with education. But beyond that, there's so many other things that too. So most likely your community is going to be a hybrid of multiple, and that's okay. So, and another thing that is very important is, if there's an existing community that exists, don't try to replace it. Rather than find a niche, find something that's a differentiator, add some more people into it or reduce some people, create something that is truly unique about your community, right? So this is just the different types of communities: those based on action, those based on inquiry, innovation, purpose, circumstance, position, place, and finally practice.